Okay, so getting right into it. Today we're going deep on something that I think is going to resonate with a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, this one hits home for sure.
It's about DJ Spoony.
The legend.
Yeah, BBC Radio 2. And he had a health scare recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
It's one of those things where, you think you're doing everything right,
Right.
and then life kind of throws a curveball at you.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that these things, they can happen to anyone, no matter how healthy or active you think you are.
Exactly. And we're basing this deep dive on a BBC News article.
Okay, cool.
So for those who maybe aren't as familiar with his work, DJ Spoony's been a big, big name in music and charity.
Yeah, he's been on the BBC forever, hasn't he?
For years, yeah. But, behind that persona, he's human just like us.
Right.
Dealing with these, unexpected health challenges.
Of course, yeah.
And this one, it started pretty innocently, actually. The article mentions he was having headaches for weeks.
Oh, headaches. I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah, it's so easy to just kind of brush them off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's stress, or I just need some sleep.
Yeah, you need more sport.
Yeah.
Right.
But, classic I'll tough it out mentality.
Right.
Push through, yeah. But with Spoony, it took a turn. He ended up in A&E on December 21st.
Oh, wow.
And they found out it was actually a subdural hematoma.
A what?
Subdural hematoma.
Okay, so for our listeners, that's a bleed in the brain.
Yeah, basically.
So that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
And for him, it required surgery
Oh, wow.
at Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge.
Oh, wow.
I mean, talk about a scary situation, right?
Absolutely.
Could you imagine getting that diagnosis
Yeah.
and then having to fast for over 10 hours before the surgery?
The waiting is the worst part.
I know, right? It must have felt like forever.
Absolutely.
But get this, he was feeling good just 10 minutes after the operation.
Seriously. That's amazing.
I know. It's wild. And the article even said he was craving a banana and a ginger shot after 14 hours of fasting.
That's Spoony, right?
I know, right?
Always gonna have that ginger shot.
I know.
That's fantastic.
Now, I know every case is different, but that sounds like a pretty speedy recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think contributed to that?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but I mean, I gotta think his positive attitude probably played a role.
The mind-body connection's a powerful thing.
Absolutely. It really is. And, speaking of positivity, the article really highlights his gratitude
Oh, yeah.
towards the NHS staff, his family and friends.
That's lovely.
It's a good reminder to appreciate those support systems we have. They're there for a reason.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go through these things alone.
You bring up a good point about the support systems.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder about the psychology behind dismissing those early symptoms,
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Why do we ignore those signs?
Yeah.
Is it just because we live in such a hectic world these days? Or is there something deeper going on?
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest. I think we live in a culture where pushing through discomfort is almost seen as a badge of honor,
Yeah.
Like, you gotta push through it, gotta keep going.
You're so right.
And sometimes there's this fear of appearing weak
Oh, absolutely.
or like making a big deal out of nothing, especially with health stuff. But Spoony's story, I think it's a perfect example. It's a reminder that listening to our bodies is crucial.
It's so important because sometimes those small signals, they can turn into something bigger,
Exactly.
And ignoring them can really backfire.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
Better to be safe than sorry.
So true. And what's really inspiring is that despite all of this, he was back in the studio pretty quickly doing what he loves.
That's amazing.
And the song he chose to play on his return was so powerful. Hold on. Change is coming. By Sounds of Blackness.
Oh, wow, that's perfect.
I know, right? It really speaks volumes about his journey and also his commitment to using music to uplift others.
Absolutely.
And that reminds me, he actually received the British Empire Medal back in 2022.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
For his services to charity during the pandemic.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
He was hosting all those live streams, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
To connect people and raise funds.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Amazing.
It's inspiring.
It is. And he's been such a force for good throughout his whole career, really.
Yeah.
Starting way back at Kiss 100 in 1997.
Wow.
Then he moved to BBC Radio 1 in 2000.
Right.
And now he's on Radio 2.
He's had quite a career, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's amazing. And you know what? It makes you wonder, do you think there's a connection between that giving spirit and his ability to bounce back from this health scare.
That's an interesting thought. I mean, there's definitely research out there that links helping others with personal well-being.
Yeah.
Like, taking care of ourselves also means taking care of each other.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's pretty cool.
So to bring it back to our listeners, we're all busy, we're all juggling a lot, and it's easy to let those aches and pains just slide.
Yeah, for sure.
But DJ Spoony's experience is a real wake-up call, I think.
It is.
So I want you to think about, what are those small signals that you might be ignoring?
Yeah.
And what can you do to be more in tune with your own body and well-being?
What can we all do?
Yeah. It's about making those small changes, those choices that prioritize our health.
Absolutely.
It's so important.
It's easy to forget sometimes,
It really is.
We get caught up in everything else that's going on.
Absolutely.
And we forget to listen to ourselves.
So take care of yourselves out there.
Yeah, take care.
And we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then.